Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. And before we move forward, I was going to drop the intro. We are bringing back the Transfer Talk Show. Today has been a lot going on in terms of Chelsea. A lot of talk on Twitter, on social medias about certain individuals. And right here today, we are going to analyze them. I'm going to give my views on these links. And we're going to open up the lines as always. We always open up the lines to you guys. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your opinions. There's talks about Rudiger. We're talking about Kounde. And we're also going to be talking about Mr. Attila Szalai. Attila Szalai, who currently plays for Fenerbahce. This is something you guys don't know. Obviously, I'm Turkish. I support Fenerbahce. So I kind of know a bit about this guy in terms of the type of player he is, how he plays the game. He's always forever like on the TV when we're playing the bigger games like Galatasaray, Besiktas. I'll watch the game, so I know of this individual. So we're going to talk about the links to Chelsea and Attila Szalai. But before we move forward, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share on all your socials. Let's cue that intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well wherever it is that you may be around the world. And do you know what? Before we move forward, what a great debate show we had last night. Lampard versus Gerrard. Some great panelists joined us for that one as well. And it was really interesting. Really good. Really, really good stream. I enjoyed it. It was nice to have a debate without actually arguing. Do you know what I mean? It was good. It was good. But today's topic is to talk about the news that Chelsea are surrounded on. Not only Antonio Rudiger. There's a little bit on Jules Kounde that we're also going to talk about. But we're going to talk about the news that came out this morning about Attila Szalai, Fenerbahce player, Hungarian, 23, I believe, years old. I think he's 22 or 23 years, 23 years old, Hungarian player. Plays for Fenerbahce, a team that I actually support but follow in Turkey, obviously being Turkish, my team. So I know a little bit about this player. I'm going to give you some insight and some info on this. We're going to go through some of the tweets that we've seen on Twitter. I have been talking to some people in the back in regards to this because there's some people that I know that know some people that have very good connections to Fenerbahce and stuff like that as well. So we're going to talk about all this very, very soon. Make sure that you smash the like button, subscribe to GNA TV, guys. Let's do that. Subscribe to GNA TV. We're on the road to 3.1k. Over 15 of you here right now. So continue to share away, guys. The lines are going to be open at some point as well. Here we go. Let's have a look in the chat. Abs is already starting his Ross Barkley out hate. Big up to him. Big up to Football Style who's in the house. Nice to see you, brother. Make sure you pepper the like button, as what Abs is saying. Andre's saying, big up to Jem. Big up to you, Matt, ZVO Genius. Good to see you in the house, bro. I mean, it's always very hard to find topics to talk about over these international periods. But when we have transfer news halfway through the season, it's always a good topic to actually, or a stream to actually talk about. Because let's be serious, Chelsea are in a little bit of a conundrum right now. Chelsea are not, in many ways, from what I've been looking on social media, are making things hard. In terms of, contracts, what individuals that or different individuals that may come into our football club as well. Who are they looking? Who are they prioritizing? And I see some people bigging up Attila Szalai as maybe the new Mendy, the golden gem. The hidden gem is what they were saying, the hidden gem. So we're going to talk about all that in a bit. Gem, the Turkish dime in the cup. Big up to you, my man. Hope you're doing good. How you doing, Jem? What are you thinking about this man? We're going to talk about this man because, like I said to you, I can give you a bit of brief on it, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts on what I think about this news. Bex, big up to you. Nice to see you in the house as well. John, nice to see you, man. Hope you're well. Jem, the Barkley agenda has to run. I know your Barkley agenda stinks, man. I'm not going to lie. It stinks. Big up to Charlie in the house as well. Charlie, nice to see you here with us over here. Over 21 of you here right now, guys. So let's continue getting them likes up while I'm going through the so-called links to our football club as well. So, Jem, who's the worst player we've had in the last 5 years? I know who my pick is, but I'll answer that very quickly. The worst player I think we've had in the last 5 years is Bakayoko. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. But let's delve into it, guys, because this is why you're all here right now. Let's delve into some of the topics that have been coming out recently. So we're going to start with the news this morning that was relating Chelsea to supposedly agreeing a fee with Fenerbahce, my Turkish team, 23.4 million euros for this guy, Attila. I say Attila. I always pronounce his name wrong. His name's Attila Szalai. Attila Szalai. Now, Attila Szalai is he's a left-footed Hungarian who actually can play in the three at the back for Fenerbahce. Actually, in many ways, they do tend to switching their systems around as well. From what I've seen of him, which was most recently as well, very good individual, a good left foot on him, very quick. He's tall, so he's very good in the air. A good tackler as well. The only thing I would say about his game, and he is still kind of very young, is his positioning sense is not the greatest. But in terms of pace, being able to recover, winning balls in the air, knocking, he can distribute. The guy can play deep, pick the ball up and distribute into the midfield. He's very progressive in the way that he plays. It doesn't surprise me that we linked with the type of player he is. And I'm talking about his ability right now, in what he can do, what he can offer. Yeah. But Simon Phillips is coming out here and said Chelsea have agreed. Obviously, he's not what Simon Phillips is saying. It's obviously reported by CNN Turk, who are, let's be serious, pretty huge. Chelsea have agreed a 23.4 million euros fee with Fenerbahce to sign centre-back Attila Szalai. The 23-year-old Hungarian international will sign a 6-year contract with Chelsea and receive an annual salary of 4 million ahead of a January move. Now, this talks are about Chelsea agreeing a January move for this guy. If you want my opinions on this, I'm going to give you two things. Number one, why is it not be spoken about by tier one journalists? Matt Laws, Fabrizio Romano's, them kind of guys. Why has that not been picked up? Now, I'm not saying CNN Turk are not huge, but when have you ever heard CNN Turk, especially from my perspective, being Turkish, come out and talk about a player that's going to leave as if they're like some sort of tier one specialist in sports? Yes, they've got a sports section within CNN Turk, like all news departments or news teams do, but they're not. Then what I'm saying is there's not enough behind it to actually think this is true. I actually think it's fake news. And what I did do is I spoke to one individual that knows another individual that's very close to Fenerbahce, and the guy that I spoke to also has links to Chelsea as well. And straight away, the feedback I got from them was that it was a waste of time. It's fake news. It's fake news. They called it straight up fake news. And there's been no interest from Chelsea. There's been no connection or even talks from Chelsea to Fenerbahce for this individual, Attila Szalai. One of the guys that actually confirmed this is a journalist who actually reports for, well, he's Turkish, but he's close to Fenerbahce. He knows them very, very well, and he's not a small account. He's not a small account, trust me. He's a very big account. So he's confirmed it as fake news as well. Obviously, my guy who I know very well, which I will share up now, Andreas, here he is, has also been speaking with certain individuals using these links to try and find out what's going on with regards to this news. And he says, I understand there is no agreement between Chelsea and Fenerbahce for Attila Szalai. Chelsea have no plans to bring the Hungarian player to Stamford Bridge in January. And you know what? It's very it doesn't surprise me in many ways. It doesn't surprise me. When I saw this morning, it was very out of the blue. There was no one really picking up on it. There was no one retweeting it, really getting. The only people that were retweeting it were the people that were questioning it and asking for the tier one journalists to give them some more info on this. So my answer to this would be that it's not true. It's definitely not true. It's definitely not true from my perspective. And I've also spoke to certain individuals that have came back and confirmed and said that it's fake. It's fake, and they're Turkish connections as well. One of them is Turkish, like I said, related to Fenerbahce. Does quite a bit for them as well. He even knocked on the door and asked, even said, is there any talks? Is this true? Is there anything? Is there actually any sort of ammunition behind this news?" And then they turned around and said, "Nothing. No, don't even know where it come from." So big up to Noah, who's in the house as well. Hope you're well. We need deadly wingers that can create something out of nothing, because like Cho and Ziyech are just steady players, is what Google is saying. Marco Marin is the worst. People talking about the worst player. Source CNN already know it's fake. You know, CNN are not a fake fake business. They're actually a very well-known business across the world. But like I said to you guys, are they tier one when it comes to sports and giving us the news like that we can actually say there's got to be some sort of news behind it? Because if it was a Fabrizio or a Matt Law, you might have picked up on it, but you didn't hear any of them actually come out and sort of back it. You know, none of them have come out and backed this story. So my thing of, you know, is this true? No, I would actually call it in many ways fake news from what I've heard, from what I've been told since this was reported. And I'll bring it up again for people that have just come in. Chelsea have supposedly agreed a 23.4 million euros fee with Fenerbahce to sign centre-back Attila Szalai. The 23-year-old Hungarian international will sign a 6-year contract with Chelsea and receive an annual salary of 4 million. It's just too much info. Like how it's like, how have they found out all of that? Do you know what I mean? Like how have they managed to get that much info? Not only are they just saying that we've agreed a fee, but they're also saying the contract, also saying the salary. They're also saying it's going to happen in January. Like, I know we do things in the dark and we can be very surprising. The way Chelsea do move, they can do things behind people's backs and then we don't hear it. And all of a sudden, bang, there you go. Do you know what I mean? But in this instance, I'm calling it. I think this is rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And until we get more clarification, until we actually hear other tier one journalists come out and actually big up this story, then I'm just going to treat it as fake news. I'll go based on what, you know, what individual. Sorry, I'm just doing the same. I'll go based on what certain individuals are telling me, and these individuals, like I said to you, are close to Fener. Me being a Fener fan as well, can tell you that he's not actually a bad player. He's just not. It just doesn't make sense. This story just come out of nowhere. There's no real. You know, it's not like it came out and then Fabrizio comes on top of it, and then Matt Law comes on top of it, and then I don't know, Andreas, who's our boy, who's going to be one of the biggest prospects when it comes to journalists soon, is on top of it. You know, other individuals. If you want to talk about Turkish journalists, there's other individuals. Ekrem, you know, an Italian journalist, massive in the Turkish industry. It's not like he's came out on it and actually said anything as well. So my thing would be, just take it like a pinch of salt. Don't read too much into this story. I want to know your thoughts and feelings, though. It'll be good to see. We're going to talk about Kounde. We are going to talk about Kounde soon. We're going to talk about Rudiger as well. Rudiger is the next topic that we'll be going into before we jump on the whole Kounde thing. But I want to know your thoughts on this, guys. When you saw this morning, over 30 of you here right now, so please smash the like button. When you saw this news, what did you feel from it? Did you feel that it was fake news straight away? Did you feel like there might be some news behind it? I saw a lot of people, and if you scroll down, I'll show you now. I don't know if it's in here too, but there's a lot of people that were talking about, oh, that means Rudiger's gone then. That means definitely it's done. Rudiger's done, you know, linking it because of Rudiger. He's gone. He's going to replace Rudiger, isn't he? From Muck. And we know, seriously, Muck. Big up to him as well. Look, this is not... We're going to get to Rudiger because it's definitely something that we need to talk about. But this player that's coming in is nowhere near the level of what Rudiger is. He's a good defender, but if we allow Rudiger to go, the only type of defender that I think comes in and replaces that is a Jules Kounde, who we're going to talk about a bit later, or a De Ligt, someone of that level. Yes, he's a young prospect. Yes, he's a good player. But he look at what, if we are saying that Rudiger's going, he's not the type of individual to come in and replace. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's not. I just find it a bit of fake news with everything going on with Rudiger at the moment as well. I just feel like it's something that we're slightly being misled, but it's just being used, just thrown out there to just cause some mist in many ways, cause some mist. But what people say, big up to Nick Blues in the house. Yes, big up to Steven Gerrard, who's at Aston Villa. Liverpool fans, how do you feel about that? But ZVO says he never trusts his CNN. Listen, I've never heard CNN announce something in relation to sports outside of Turkey and it become true. I might be wrong, but I'm Turkish. This news is probably leaked by Chelsea to try and give us a better negotiation position for the people players like Kounde who are pursuing. I don't think so, okay? Like, I don't even think that it's that. I just think it's everyone can see what's going on with Chelsea at the moment. How can we get some, retweets, some views, some thoughts? I know what we'll do. We'll just make up a little story about a potential player who maybe in the past had been linked to Chelsea and bring that up. I mean, it's just like I said to you, it's too solid. Like 20, basically what they're saying straight up is 23.4 million fees been agreed. He's coming to Chelsea on a 6-year contract, and he will receive 4 million, and it's all in January. So you're telling me that that in the space of nothing, we've not even heard this guy like that they can give us all this information that Chelsea and Fenerbahce as a club have come out to CNN and told them all this information and that it's going to happen. Yet no one who's linked to Chelsea has confirmed this. Where's the Matt Laws? Where's the Fabrizio Romanos? Like, I'm sorry, it's not happening for me. I'm telling you, I'm calling it as fake news in this one. Until I hear anyone pick up on it, I'm calling it. And like I said to you guys, even though we didn't hear from them individuals, the Matt Laws and that, I did go and speak to some people that I know on Twitter in my DMs. And one of the guys I spoke to a Turkish journalist who is very close to Fenerbahce, and he ripped back fake news. This has been confirmed as fake news, not only from Fenerbahce, but also from Chelsea. So these guys have already been digging into this story and trying to get answers for this. So it's not true, guys. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think it is. We could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be sitting here right now and it could be true. Later on in the next couple of days, it could be that we do sign him. But based on what I've been told and the source that it's coming from, I think I'll take the source that it's coming from. Not the source that's coming from that I've been told, the journalist, rather than listen to CNN. So we don't need Rudiger. If he doesn't want to sign, then he'll be rejected, is what Brilliant AJ's saying. Jem, which team did you find more fun to watch? Barca 06 or Barca 08 and 11? Barca 08 to 11, I would say. Kounde is overrated. No, he isn't. Between Rudiger and Silva and Christian, at least two of them have to stay beyond the summer. Rudiger and Silva leaves us with no leaders in the back. Yes, I agree. And with the next topic, which we are going to go to now, is Antonio Rudiger. Antonio Rudiger news is next, guys. But over 35 of you here, smash the like button. Keep smashing the like button for GNA TV. Subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. We're on the road to 3.1k as well. So let's jump into the next topic, shall we? The next topic being Antonio Rudiger. Like I said to you guys, if you are coming in and you are just walking 20 minutes in, if you want to hear what we had to say about Attila Szalai, who supposedly has agreed a fee, according to CNN, so then watch this stream back after the show and you'll be able to listen to my thoughts on that one as well. We move on to the Rudiger twist on things. And to be honest, let's go to Absolute Chelsea to start with on this one. We're still in the same position. We're hearing things like this from Absolute Chelsea, which was commented by Telly Football, saying that there's been no progression on the contract extension of Antonio Rudiger. Now, I don't think we need anyone that's into football or is a Chelsea fan needs a brain to realise that there's no progress, because if there was any progress, then we would have heard something different. The fact that it was bought out just tells me that there's no news, really. There's no news on it. But then we obviously saw a bit of news from players who obviously commented. No, actually, let's go to hate this because it never sits in order. Sorry, from Matt Law. Now, Matt Law confirmed on the London Blue Pod for himself that this is his opinion, guys. Yeah, Matt Law, who's very linked to Chelsea, has came out on the London Blue Pod and said, "My personal opinion, I think Rudiger will go. There's no progress. It feels like they are too far apart." Now, I think that might be the case. My thing is this with the Rudiger situation. I think Rudiger probably wants to stay at Chelsea, but I think he has an agent that sees him in the peak of his form right now, sees him playing very well in a system that works for him, knows his contract's due, and is pushing for some serious money for wages to renew that. Because Chelsea haven't done that to this point now, the agent is now spoken to Rudiger or got in his ear and is now entertaining him in other moves. Well, if they're not going to give you what you want, why are you in the form of your life? Why don't you look at other people? Other people that will give you even more money. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest with you when it comes to this. I love Rudiger. I think we all love Rudiger as well. If he leaves Chelsea Football Club, I'm going to say it now. If he leaves this football club, he leaves us for money. That's it. That's it for me. Because if you're in love with this football club, and I'm not saying Rudiger isn't, and I think Rudiger does love playing for Chelsea. There's been a lot of issues with Rudiger prior to Tuchel coming in. You know, there's a lot of racial comments towards him. There's a lot of bad comments said about him. Maybe made him feel not at home at the time. Now he's found the form that he's in and he's playing very well and everyone loves him and he can feel that again. I just feel he's in a position now where he has to choose between playing for Chelsea and the badge and wanting to be here, which I think he partly does, or doing what his agent's telling him to do. And look, if Chelsea don't give you this, then we need to start looking. And I think Chelsea have probably gone close to what he wants. I think Chelsea have probably issued him some sort of figure which is probably substantial or good for him. I think that the reason that it's not pushing or progressing anymore is because I think his agent is pushing for the money. Obviously, his agent is going to get cuts and whatever and etc. And I think that he's seeing that Rudiger being in the greatest form that he's in, he can make money on him. Matt Law, like I said to you, his personal thoughts are that he thinks it won't progress. He thinks it's too far apart and that it will finish. So there's that one as well. There's also this comment here that is quite interesting from Mr. Pies. Chelsea are only prepared to go so high for Antonio Rudiger. As it stands, Antonio Rudiger is leaving Chelsea. Rudiger's camp are waiting for offers in January to see what they receive. So that just kind of answers what I just said just now. Chelsea are only prepared to go high for Antonio Rudiger's contract as it stands. To go so there's a limit. There's a cap. Chelsea have got a cap. So if it is 200,000, which is what we're saying it is, maybe we've offered him 185, maybe 190. And then what I think's just happened is that it's just stalled there because Chelsea have just said, look, this is all we can offer you. This is the best we can offer. Now, I would not be pissed off if Rudiger leaves to go and play for another team because he's getting more money. But at the same time, I would not be pissed off with my own football club for allowing him to leave because of that. If my own football club have given him their best offer and try to negotiate to a level which they feel is right, which we may or may not find out once we find out more whether he's staying, going, if he leaves. I don't have any problems. I don't have any problems with Chelsea Football Club. I won't have the with us. What will not make sense is if we go and sign a Delit, if we go and sign a Jules Kounde, and then we offer them 230 or 40,000 weekly wages. Let's just say we do that, but we don't give him the 200. That's where it becomes a bit messed up for me. So I'm cool if he wants to leave. If he wants to leave and play somewhere else because he isn't getting what he thinks he's getting, his agents got in his head and said, yeah, you can get 250 or 40k from PSG or Real Madrid. And he goes, cool, Rudiger, cool, do your thing. At the same time, like I said to you, I am not going to be angry with Chelsea. I'm not going to be angry with my football club whatsoever for letting him go. Why should I be? People saying, oh, we're crap. Marina don't know what she's doing. Chelsea Ball don't know what we're doing. We're idiots. We paid you all this, but we don't want to give Rudiger that. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm sorry. I'm just not going to entertain it. I mean, there's over 40 of you guys here right now, 24 minutes in. Smash the like button, guys. Let's do that. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Like Matt said here, let's try and do that. And going back to Rebecca's comment about Rudiger, Silva and Christensen, I think Silva will have to probably stay another year, and I think he's comfortable in doing that. We've seen the performances of Rudiger. I think of Silva. We know that he can perform at a good level still, and be here. We will still need to incorporate bringing in players. So a Jules Kounde, who we're going to talk about next, a Delit, for example, them type of players, I can still see us doing. Christensen, let's go out of this for a second. Christensen, I did see something from Andreas when I was showing you this about this, because this is fake news. I'm telling you now, I think it is. He came here and he said, Rudiger's contract's still on hold, as I've said for weeks. Christensen's contract can still be considered as close. Now, just to relate that to Rebecca's comment, which is why I brought this up, is that I feel that the Rudiger thing is still, well, it is what it is. Right? I think, to be honest, at this rate, it looks like he's going, yeah? The Silva thing, I can see Chelsea keeping him for another year. I don't see him not wanting to stay another season. And Christensen, we've said it before. I think the thing with Christensen deal is that everything's agreed. I think he's happy with the wage. People saying he's moaned about the wage. I don't think it's that. He's happy with the contract. Christensen is happy with Chelsea. He loves Chelsea. He's played for Chelsea for long enough. The thing that delayed the Christensen deal, from what we've heard, is there were some little bits and bobs. Whatever them little bits and bobs in the contract that had to be reviewed haven't been reviewed yet. Whether it's because Chelsea have just forgot about it and trying to do other bits or whatever. It is what it is. The Christensen thing, I think, eventually will sort itself out. There's no way in hell that Chelsea Football Club let Rudiger go in one season and Christensen go in one season. What do we do then? I'm sorry. We will keep two of them. And even if Silva was meant to have gone and he has to stay for another season because Rudiger goes, which can happen, then I think we'll still have two of the three, either or. Ideally, I'd prefer Rudiger and Christensen to stay, allow Thiago Silva to leave the football club, and then bring in a Kounde or a Delit to just play in with them. That's the ideal best scenario. But in terms of what Andreas has said there, Christensen's still on hold, as I've said for weeks. Rudiger's still on hold. Christensen's contract's still close. It just tells me that they're probably waiting for little bits and bobs to be sorted. Let's go through the chat. I want some of us to sell Reece James. Oh, come on, bro. Come on. Big up, Kepa. Hi, Jem. Big up to you, Almighty Blue. Nice to see you in the house. Nearly over 50 of you guys here already. Let's keep smashing the like button, guys. Subscribe to GNA TV. Subscribe to the channel. And please like it. Please keep continuing liking. Like I said, over 50 of you here. The lines will be open shortly. I will be opening up the lines on this show to give you guys the opportunity to give me your thoughts. Not only on Rudiger, but we were talking about Attila Szalai. Supposedly, CNN Turk have said that Chelsea have agreed to sign him for around 23 plus million euros, which we know is not, I hope we all know is not true. I have spoken to people through Twitter who are journalists, and one of them, being Turkish, has confirmed that because he's close to Fenerbahce, that this news is not true. It's fake news, is what he said. So if I'm going to listen to CNN Turk, I'm not going to listen to the guy that is very reputable in the Turkish community, very close to Fenerbahce, and is a journalist that knows his stuff. I'm not going to lie, he does know his stuff. I think I'm probably going to take Ekrem's mark. Before I open the lines, we are going to talk a little bit about Jules Kounde as well. But I just want to see what people were saying. Big up to you, bro. Big up to Josh. Nice to see you in the house, bro. I hope you're well. Much rather keep AC and Silva than keep Rudiger for money. And that's the feeling around it. And this is why I keep saying to people, if Rudiger does go, and he does leave the club, let's not have the ump with our board. Because if we have met him in the middle, but him in the middle, his side or his camp don't look at it as being something that is good enough for him, and he ends up going elsewhere, then let him go. But let's not have the ump with him because he wants to go. And let's not have the ump with our football club. Let's not have the ump with our football club because they didn't want to give him X amount. It could be more than 200k. He could have wanted 220, 250. We don't know yet. Big up to Couch in the house. I hope you're well. Big up to you. Big up to D-Stretch as well, who's in the house. Big up my brother Jem. Big up to you. Over 60 of you here. 30 minutes in. Lines will be open soon. I'm going to talk a little bit about Jules Kounde quickly now, and then we're going to open up the lines. But we've already spoken about Rudiger. We already spoke to a little bit about Christensen and where that stands. Attila Szalai, who was supposedly have signed to today. We've also spoken about that as well. But I do want to quickly talk about this comment here that Matt Law came out in regards to Jules Kounde. Jules Kounde, Matt Law on January signings. At the moment, expect a quiet January incomings wise, unless Chelsea can do a deal on Kounde, because I think he's clearly someone they tracked for a long time, and they've already tried for him once. So should Chelsea look to sign Kounde? Look, I don't think the Kounde thing's dead yet. I think the Kounde thing can still happen, but at the same time, I think it will be very hard to get it done for him to come in January. You could see that Chelsea go into negotiations with Kounde in January with the talks between the clubs and agree it for the summer. So it might get to a point where we agree it. Now, you know what Sevilla done last time round when we were trying to sign him in the summer. They gave us an offer in. They said if we meet that offer in at a certain period of time, then he's cool to go. He wasn't even playing. He was sitting on the bench because it looked like he was ready to go. They then switched their mind or switched their thought process and then asked for the full asking price for him. And then Chelsea sort of backed out of it. Chelsea backed out of even thinking about going down that route with him. And we're now in a position where we thought he might be a little bit pissed off with his certain tweets and having to play. He's a Sevilla player still. We're back into the position now where we could approach it again. But Chelsea might not, because of Sevilla's dealings, because Sevilla are now still, holding on for the full amount. We'll see. At the end of the day, it's important because we do need a defender. You want my honest opinions on Antonio Rudiger from this point right now? It is not looking good. It is not looking good. But things can change overnight. And like I said to you, there is still a good point that Chelsea might come to an agreement. The only way this agreement happens is that in January, when his agent goes out looking for offers, the offers that they are willing to require from these clubs are not being given to Rudiger. So if Rudiger's not getting the offers that he wants from AC Milan, Real Madrid, PSG, or they can't compromise, and it's, well, should we really move you there when Chelsea are giving you this? But, all right, it's a little bit more PSG, but then it might be a case of that you don't end up going for that option because they've been open to the January options and there hasn't been many. That might still happen. That's what I'm saying. Have an open-minded picture to the situation. At this moment in time, it looks like he's not going to stay because we've hit the wall, or Chelsea have hit the wall in terms of what they're going to offer him. It gets to January, he goes out looking for offers from Real Madrid, whoever that's interested in him. It might be that they end up paying him a little bit more than what Chelsea are doing, but are still not reaching the figure that he wants for him to actually leave Chelsea, which means then he then falls back to what Chelsea want, and then maybe him and Chelsea can sort something out before his contract expires. I don't like the idea of him going on a free. I don't. I really don't like the idea of him going on a free. It's crap. Crap from a business perspective as well. 250k isn't even that much. The club can't be cheap forever. It's not about being cheap, is it? This is the thing. Like, it's not about Chelsea being cheap. It's about business. It's about having a wage structure. It's about knowing what you can afford. People think, because Chelsea's got loads of money, they can just spend it. I don't think Chelsea are run like that. I don't think that's the way we work. I agree that there's too many deadwood players on the wage packet right now. There is too many dead players on the wage packet. Players that we do need to get rid of right now. Players that should potentially not be playing for 5 million a year, who are running down their contracts at our football club, because that's what they're doing right now. They're running down their contracts because we can't sell them and we're keeping them on the books. If we freed up that wage packet, then maybe we could afford to pay Rudiger what he wants in theory. Maybe we could go the extra mile and have got Haaland for whatever wage packet he wanted. Yeah, again, I think there was issues with Mino Raiola in that one. But there's a lot to it. I don't think it's just as easy as, you got money, just spend it. It doesn't work like that. AC stays and either De Ligt or Jules comes in. Look, AC and Silva stays for me at the moment, and Kounde or Jules comes in. I agree. Yeah, they are looking like the options. Unless anyone else comes in within that period, we'll have to yet to be seen. Big up to Declared in the house. Would love Kounde, but I think both clubs are stubborn to budge on their stance. But that can change, right? Because when it comes to January, Bex, it might get to the point where Kounde goes, right, I told you I would, play for this season. You made it hard for me to leave last season because you asked for full price. I do want to leave the club, so I will be pushing for it to be done, whether it's in January, whether it's in summer. You need to come to an agreement with Chelsea because that's where I want to go. Now, if he goes and does that, it makes it a lot more easier for Chelsea to negotiate. If he doesn't do that and he's quiet about the situation, he's waiting for other people to come in and whatever, and Sevilla are just stubborn, and like we said, are doing what they did in the summer, where they gave us one offer and then changed it and then said, oh, actually, we want the full price, which is what they did. Let's be serious. Then we've got a problem. Over 70 of you here right now, guys. Smash the like button. The lines are going to be open for you guys in the next 5 minutes as well. I'm going to go through some of your chats quickly before we get the panel on, people to get involved. 3 topics. Attila Szalai. I want your thoughts on that. CNN Turk. Let's bring it up again quickly. CNN Turk have came out, or Simon Phillips has came out and retweeted a comment or a source from CNN Turk, who bear in mind I'm Turkish as well. So Chelsea have agreed a 23.4 million fee with Fenerbahce to sign centre-back Attila Szalai. The 23-year-old Hungarian international will sign a 6-year contract with Chelsea and receive an annual salary of 4 million ahead of a January move. I've called it as fake. I've spoken to some people off, in my DMs as well. One of them being Turkish. I'm Turkish and I actually don't support Fenerbahce. I follow Fenerbahce. They're my team. Yeah, he is a very good player, actually. I'm not going to lie. He's a decent player, but he ain't coming to Chelsea. The guy confirmed as well and actually said, not happening. It's fake news. He's even reached out to someone in Fenerbahce. Chelsea have also confirmed, apparently, behind the scenes that this is not true as well. So that's what it is. I've not heard Matt Law reporting it. I've not heard Fabrizio Romano report on Attila Szalai. And it's just out in the air random. Like, it's too much. Think about it, guys. There's too much information there. Too much information there for it to just be true. He's coming to Chelsea for this much. He's going to have a 6-year contract. And he's going to get an annual salary of 4 million. All the head of a January move. We know it all. That's what they're saying. Nah, I'm sorry. I'm taking that as a pinch of salt. So I want your thoughts on that. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. We're also talking about Antonio Rudiger as well. Antonio Rudiger. And we've been going through some sort of sources. One, obviously, from Matt Law, again, which CFC Pies came out saying that Chelsea are prepared to only go so high for Antonio Rudiger. Antonio Rudiger is leaving Chelsea. Rudiger's camp are waiting for offers in January. What are your thoughts on that? Is it done? Is it finished? Should Chelsea start looking in January or talking to clubs in January for the replacement of Antonio Rudiger? Are Chelsea going to need more than one defender if Rudiger goes? I think Silva and Christensen stay for one, Christensen will be there, but Silva will stay for one more year. But I still don't think that answers our questions, because I do think if Rudiger goes, we need 2. Not 1, 2. So this talks either Jules Kounde or De Ligt. Cool, based on their value. That's true. But then we could still bring in someone that's not of the high profile. Let's just say the high profile footballer of Jules Kounde and De Ligt. Maybe we do that. Maybe we don't. Maybe we rely on our boys in the 21s or something. I don't know, or our loanees. There's a lot to delve into on that. We'll talk about Rudiger. We'll talk about Attila Szalai. Simon Phillips in the mud is what Rebecca's saying. Big up to JJ as well. Nice to see you in the house, guys. Listen, over 80 of you here right now. The lines are going to be open now for you guys to get involved and have your say. Is Kounde getting in the side before AC Trev? Yes. You're not spending that kind of money for Kounde to come in, especially if Rudiger leaves and him not start. Now, you saw what Matt Law said about Kounde. He still thinks that Chelsea could negotiate something with him in January. That's the only January offering he thinks could happen. I think we can negotiate Kounde in January, but I don't think we can sign Kounde in January. I think we can sign Kounde. We can get it going in January and maybe get him over in the summer. But it will have to come from Kounde. Kounde will have to push it himself. If he wants to leave Sevilla in the summer, he will have to push it for me. We are going to need a new centre back at some point though if he leaves. Exactly. Hi Jim, what's your thoughts on Andreas Christian and Antonio Rudiger contract situation? Is there any chance both of them can leave it? No. I would be shocked if we allowed Christensen and Rudiger to go. For me, Christensen's is done. I still think it's done. I just think there was some little bits and bobs within the contract that need to be sorted. Chelsea haven't paid attention to it, probably forgot about it. It's probably stalled. Everyone's thinking, oh no, Christensen's going. Christensen was happy with the wage roll. Christensen was happy with the contract. That's what we've been told. So I would be shocked if we let him go or we didn't sort it out. We'll have to wait and see. With Rudiger, I've already told you. Rudiger, at the moment, it's looking peak. I think, like I said, it's more his agent pushing it than anything. I think his agent's looking for other offers, for more money. I think Chelsea have negotiated. I do. I think Chelsea have said, look, we can give you this. How much do you want? They've said this. Chelsea have gone, all right, well, we're this at the moment. But, we'll give you this. This is what we're willing to do for you. And then it's down to Rudiger if he wants the money, if he wants to stay at Chelsea, fine. But like I said, I'm not going to have the ump with Chelsea if he goes. Rudiger is gone. We have to accept it. Loved him since day one, but he was never truly appreciated by fans. The English media, they tried to tarnish his rep. And that might be part of the reason why he wants to leave. I don't know. Maybe that's how he feels. Maybe that is how he feels. Do we see Szalai getting a new contract? I don't know, Bex. I honestly don't even know how to answer that. My answer would be, where does Szalai go? The links in the chat, guys. Links in the chat. Come in and give me your thoughts on these topics. Give me Dutch youngster from Barca a chance. Yeah. You're talking about Muambiamba. He looks like a decent prospect. I'm not going to lie. He really does. Does look like a decent. Even Bayern centre-back makes the money Rudy is asking for. The club is definitely cheaping out. I don't know, man. I don't think it's that, Big up to Josh that's with me. Josh, how you doing, bro?
What's up, Jim? How you doing, brother?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I mean, you've heard, I don't know if you've been listening all the way through, but you've heard me talking about this Szalai talks on CNN Turk, them saying they've signed him. He's going to be a Chelsea player in January, 23.4 million euros, blah, 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 blah. But we haven't seen any other tier ones come out of it. I also said to you that I'd spoken to someone that was quite close to Fenerbahce, and then he even confirmed there was fake news. I mean, what was your overall thoughts when you saw that news on Szalai, mate?
Yeah, I mean, the same as it is when I see news on guys like De Ligt and Kounde at this point. It's just rumors. It's really hard for me to take anything without a grain of salt this early before the window. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think Rudiger is gone. Just like you said, I think Matt Law said it too. Unless he just doesn't get any decent offers in January, and our offer is the best one on the table. I've come to peace with that this summer, to be honest with you.
Do you think that we lose both in Christensen and Rudiger, or are you confident that we'll keep two of the three, whether it's Silva, Christensen, or Rudiger and Christensen, whatever it is? Are you confident we'll keep both?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think for sure Silva stays at least for one more year. I think AC will get done. It's weird though what happened with that with the years. Chelsea thought they had a 5-year deal, and then his agents asked for a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what the big deal is with that. I wouldn't mind giving him 3 years. It's I don't think you have to have a 5-year deal with him. If he plays good in 2 years, you can extend him. It is what it is. But yeah, I think the two of those guys will stay. I still think we need 2 center backs. I mean, because if you look right now, we don't really have cover for Rudiger as it is. I mean, I guess you could slide Trevor over there, but they haven't really done that yet. So I don't think that's really in their plans. I think they like him in the center or on the right side.
Yeah.
So I could see them going for one of the big name guys like a De Ligt or a Jules, and then maybe a lesser center back to fill in on that left side as depth. I don't quite think Colwell is ready yet to be a backup on the team, although I do think he will be in the near future. I don't know how many of the fans have been following him, but he's having a sensational season in the championship. Very good player. But yeah, I still think regardless we'll need 2 center backs, whether it's 2 top end center backs or 1 top end center back and sort of a depth guy.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I agree with you. I've said it on here already. I think we need 2. I actually think you get 1 high profile defender, and then you go and look and bring someone that's not of a high profile, but is touted as being a prospect in many ways. Right. If that makes sense. Yeah. You know, but I mean, Couch, what was your thoughts when you woke up, or when if you was awake? I don't know, when timing's there with you, but when you saw this story that CNN Turk have said that we've pretty much agreed a 23.4 million fee for a centre back for Fenerbahce. But not only did he said that, he said it with a 6-year contract, and he's going to get a salary of this, and it's going to happen in January. Like, what was your thoughts?
All right. First of all, it's 8:36 in the morning for me, so I'm
Same
usually up
here.
around 6 because of my son. But when I looked at the post and I saw at CNN Turk, I immediately just said, okay, this is some bullshit here. There's
But
no,
they're not small though.
they don't 52. They got 5.2 million followers. Those are
Yeah.
that's a lot of bots there, man. A lot of bots. A lot of bots there. I like honestly, I can't see um any journalist getting the march on a Chelsea signing before Matt Law, as far as I'm concerned. Like he would have at least had his ear to the ground, sniffing around the club if they've already agreed a fee and they already know the terms. Like all of that is way too far down the line for CNN Turk to get the march on someone like Matt Law, who is the mouthpiece for the club. So that I don't necessarily agree with. I've been harping on this whole Rudiger thing for at least a week now, and I've been saying I don't think that he's going to sign, and I don't think that it's going to come down to Chelsea not offering him what he wants. I think it just comes down to Rudiger looking at himself as a free agent now, like very similar to what we see in sports now all over the
Yep.
world. Free agency means I get the freedom to negotiate with
What I want.
whoever I want.
Yeah.
So when you look at it like that, it's November the 11th right now. We're going to be in January 1st, so in less than 2 months, he's going to be able to have any club that wants him to come in and go. He goes to the highest bidder. Why
Yep.
would he now sign a contract with Chelsea, knowing that in January he's not necessarily not going to negotiate with them, but at least he has more leverage. He can now go back to them and say, "Listen, I got these offers on the table right now. This 140 that you're offering me, that's not going to make it right now. That not make it." So at this point, he has more leverage when he waits. If he waits to January, even if his intentions are to re-sign with Chelsea. So I don't see why at this point in time he does anything but just waits until he sees where the offers are coming from. With Christensen, I think it's a little different. From what I hear, and I'm sure you guys haven't been, you guys have been privy to the same information I have been. It's about term, and for him, he wants
Jester,
yeah,
big up to Jester.
yeah, big up Jester. Uh, I think when you think about Christensen, it's about term, and what is it, 25, 26? This is going to be his last really, if we go by history, this is probably going to be his last really big deal.
Yeah.
So again, I look at these North American contracts, and all the agents are forcing their big clients to sign 2 and 3 year deals during their best years, because they
Yep.
know that their last contract is going to be their biggest contract. So
Have you also get
if he signs a 2 year deal and then he re-ups again 2 years from now, he's standing to make more. His earning potential is a lot higher than if he signs a 5 year deal now for 160.
Yep.
So I think he wants a 3 year deal, and I don't think he's going to move off of that, especially because of the fact that he can negotiate with anybody again in January. I think
Yeah.
Chelsea will need it though.
Yeah, you're seeing that here in American sports, and it's a little different only because we have like salary caps and collective bargaining, but guys are doing short-term deals because they know in 2 years the rights to the TV rights, everything will be much higher. They can make more money, and it's similar in football, but it's more of like a market value thing in football. So like in 2 years, if Christian's one of the top center backs in the world, the market value for that will be very high. So he'll be able to renegotiate under those terms. That makes sense to me. I'm not offended. If I'm Chelsea and he wants a 3 year deal, have at it. Let him sign the 3 year deal. Because to me, that protects you as the club too. If he turns out to be, a bum and in 2 more years, or he falls off the table with his performances in 2 years, you got a little bit of a get out of jail free card, and you don't have him on the books for an additional 3 seasons. Yeah, I mean, it's just a new way of football, the new way of sports, really in general.
Guys are
Guys
just
are,
betting on themselves, man. They're just betting on
yeah,
themselves.
and fair play to them. It's their right to do that.
Yeah.
For me, with Rudiger, this is a pure money play the whole time. I don't think it's a thing of like, oh, I really want to be at the club. But no, it's a pure money play. He'll play wherever gives him the most money, whether it be Bayern or Real or PSG or whoever's going to give him the biggest bag is where you'll see him go next season. And I don't think there's any doubt about that.
So you by the sounds of it, it seems like we've all just accepted that he's pretty much going. But it doesn't, like you said, doesn't answer our questions really, because in many ways we still need to replace him with at least two defenders. I mean, Redneck, what's your thoughts on the Rudiger situation? Obviously, this morning the links to this Szalai player as well from Fenerbahce.
I actually, first of all, I'm trying my new setup before my table comes in. How
That's
you?
all
I love the headphones, man. Are those Beats by Dre?
Yeah, they're nice.
No, those beats by Putin. Anyway, I'm trying to set up, and I don't know how's my microphone and the
It's fine.
camera. And
Can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. I actually watched that guy play for Hungary because they play against Russia, and he was pretty decent. I kept eye because he kept a player quiet, and he was supposed to be one of the good players for Russia. So I don't know how real the actual him coming to Chelsea blah 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 is, but I can see why he could be mentioned in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, Fabrizio Romano, everybody likes him, and oh my God, he's like next to I don't know who, but he's been making mistakes and stuff like that before. So it's not like if Fabrizio Romano didn't post something, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Same thing on Metla. Metla is on the Chelsea's end. He doesn't know what's going on in Fenerbahce. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. He only talks about Chelsea. He doesn't know what goes outside the Chelsea. So I'm not saying it's true, but I'm not saying like we should ignore it completely. You know what I'm saying? I could see it happen. We found. Did anybody remember defender Jabriji, whatever his name is?
Who?
Jabriji.
What?
There was a Chelsea signed one time a center back, Debriji something.
Yeah, the guy that played one
Djilabadji?
Djilabadji, yeah.
Yeah. I just can't say his
Oh.
name. Remember that? Did anybody see
Yeah.
from Fabrizio Romano from Metla anything about him?
Wasn't
No,
really a significant
I get
signing, though,
that.
my friend.
Is
It wasn't
that
really a significant signing. That was like
is
a
that a
£5 million
significant
signing, right?
I mean, like that guy
but
is
23 million? That sounds pretty significant. That's something that would be on the radar.
For real,
23 million pounds?
23 million euros.
Have
That's
you
a
not
significant amount.
Well, yeah, I think so. More so than a £5 million loaner,
Okay, no, okay.
But
I'll
Redneck,
ask
my
you-
issue's not the journalists and whatever. It is a bit because seeing in Turk and obviously being Turkish myself, they don't really report like they have a sports department, but they're not like classed as like a tier one when it comes to sports.
No.
Right?
I'm not saying it's true. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
true. I'm just saying, just like, don't ignore it. Like it's like, it is what's the name? I don't know. It looks like it has a little blue dot on it. So
what I'm
saying?
They got
Somebody
5.2 million followers, Redneck. That's how many.
All bots. All bots.
How many?
5.2 million.
Oh, I don't know. Like you, the Turk. You might be the bot. I don't know. I'm not.
No,
the
look,
bot, but anyway.
like I said earlier, I spoke to someone. As soon as it came out, I read it and I thought not true. But then I asked someone that's actually a Turkish journalist that's very well known and close to Fenerbahce, actually went and approached them when he saw this news. And his feedback was fake news. That was it.
Okay.
That's what we got. So
like
it might
I
be
said,
that he's wrong. It might be that he's wrong, but I'd rather listen to this guy because he usually gets things right than not. So it is what it is.
What I was trying to say is the guy is decent. He made me notice. That's what I was trying to say when Russia played against Hungary. He made me notice him as a defender. That's all it is. He does have a really good passing range, left-footed passing range.
He does, yeah. I've seen him. I watch him. Fenerbahce's my team. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not Turk.
Yeah, no,
Anyway.
you're right. He's very good with the ball moving forward, progressively very good. Got pace. He's good in the air as well, but he lacks a little bit of positioning. His positioning sense is a little bit off. But at 23, he could always work on that. But is he the type of player that would fit this team? Yeah, he would. Because at Fenerbahce, they do like to switch to a three at the back sometimes as well. So I can see why it's been linked to us in based on the system, So
Well, anyway, if he comes, he comes. Like he's gonna be Chelsea blue, and everybody will love him, even for that much crazy amount of money of 25 million euros. Couch, I don't know. Like, if we find
it's more significant than Djilabadji, though. It's more significant than like a £5 million Djilabadji. That's all I'm saying. When we get a £25 million player,
if you
we
say
all know
25
about it.
is significant, and they want 60 for Kounde and 80
You're
for
misconstruing
Kounde.
what I'm saying. You're misconstruing what I'm saying. I said
Anyway.
in comparison to Djilabadji, 23 million is a significant signing. It's not somebody that you're just gonna like just stow away wherever. You know, like he's something that they're looking.
I think we
that's
can
not
take
sterling though. That's euros. Yeah, remember that.
Well,
yeah.
There is a good chance too that they loan Sar. There's a good chance that they loan Sar in January. So if they're looking for cover, you know, I mean that is a high price for cover, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go into the market and try to get a more capable center back than Sar, because Sar's agent was talking about him maybe going on loan in January, and if they do end up doing that, they're going to need an additional center back, in my opinion.
I agree.
Anyway, going back to Rudiger, I said it before the January. He's gone. Before January, before September, before the season even started. I said from the beginning, he's gone. He never was interested in it. For me, he was never interested. A guy has the last contract. He has to think about his family. It's his decision. I don't think it's Chelsea. I don't think that. I think he still has a grudge against the board. That's 100%. But whatever it is, he's gone. I mean, I'm not gonna cry about it. It's his decision. That's all it is.
Now, could I ask you a question, Redneck? Actually, it'd be good to ask you this. If Chelsea let him go and we find out that it's because obviously we didn't match the wage that he wanted, but obviously at the same time his agents sending him elsewhere because you know they think they can get him more money. If we do let him go, would you have the yump with our board for not giving him the money that he wants?
It depends on the money. Actually, it's not as much as depends on the money. Is for me, at his contract, I think it's the end of the contract money. For example, if he wants the 5-year deal for 250, it's going to be 33 years old, a defender that we don't know on 250K. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think
it's not only about the money. It's not only about the money. The money that separates them two. But the contract, I think Chelsea looking at it a little bit different way than we were looking at.
I do think Chelsea have gone forward and willingly said, look, this is what we can do. We can negotiate as to where I think they know where they want to be, like where they obviously what Rudiger wants. But I think Chelsea have just gone, cool, but this is what we can do. We offered you this. We'll give you an improved offer of this. Then it's just on you guys to decide whether you want it.
People keep one biggest thing that Chelsea fans are really misunderstanding. Like from just somebody I saw on the chat saying that what's his face got 400K a week. That guy from Bayern that went to Real Madrid. Alaba. Do people realize that Chelsea nowhere near freaking level of magnitude of Bayern Munich and Real Madrid on the financial thing? We're nowhere near them as a club. Our owner is rich. Our club is not, and people don't get that. That's two separate things.
That's a good point. Excellent point.
When the two things came in, when financial fair play came in, it's separated. It's limited Roman Abramovich to put in the money. You can't just go and just put your money into the club every time you want. You will get banned every season by buying players next season. We're not rich club like Real Madrid, like Man United, like Liverpool, because the growth of the club is different from the owners, how rich is the owner. It's completely different. We have to go buy players what we like based on what we have. We do not. Our stadium is so small. Then actually we had to, and thanks to Rory and fuck off all of them, I think we cannot have bigger stadium. Because of those, we don't have bigger stadium. So now our budget is smaller. Now we're fighting for actually open stands. Like Roman is fighting to open the stands for like it's supposed to be like where fans can stand in it instead of sitting.
Yeah, safe standing.
Safe standing. Yeah, there's that on the thing just to increase our capacity.
Yeah.
People don't get it that we're not in the same level in the money wise, so we can't afford it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I do hear you. We are going to talk to Declared and Nick Blue in a bit, but we have got over 100 people here right now, guys. So please subscribe if you're new. We have got an Indonesian Chelsea fan in the chat that's obviously new. Please subscribe, my friend, if you're here. Please like as well. We massively appreciate it. We are talking Rudiger. We are going to talk a little bit about Kounde later on as well. But we are also talking about the news that we heard this morning in regards to Attila Szalai supposedly signing for Chelsea, as reported from CNN Turk. But I mean, Declared, how you doing, my brother?
Good. How's everyone? Good turnout tonight. I like it.
Yeah, it's nice, mate. It's nice. It's nice. Tell me about everything that we've been talking about, Rudiger and this Hungarian Szalai.
Yeah, I started with Attila because when I saw it first, I was wondering if someone won some kind of competition, Make-A-Wish Foundation. I wasn't sure what was going on. I had to really research and ask around. Yeah, I'm pretty close to the Turkish connection too. Asked around, nothing. And being Fenerbahce, no one likes him. True, Jem.
Yeah, and I do. That's my team, mate. Don't talk about that.
I'm on the opposite side. Sorry, mate. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
No,
nothing makes sense. Like the guy, he hasn't done much. How's he going to come into the team, right? Let's just say we did sign him. Well, does he play in front of Havertz as a striker? Is he someone? His characteristics are very different to what we've had. He's what is he, 6? I heard 6'3", 6'4", I think.
6'3", yeah, he's 6 foot.
He's quite tall too. If we were playing,
he's a centre back though. Yeah,
he's a centre back. Yeah, he's a centre back. He plays.
I was just going to say, are we talking about a striker? I thought we were talking center back this whole time.
I guess your Turkish connections are bad, man.
I'm bad. I read somewhere. I apologize. I read that he was some kind of striker, and I thought he was coming back as a striker.
No,
I was like, wow, I'd be down for a 6'4" striker. Okay.
All right. You know what? I can quickly actually just correct myself. That makes things to me way worse because we have so many young centre backs that I think are way better than Attila, and the whole really good news.
Whoa! Hold on a second. You haven't even seen this guy play yet. You said that he's better. You thought he was a striker.
I thought he was a striker. I read that he was a striker, and I said,
"Give the man a chance. Give the man a chance."
I'm buying a striker for him.
I heard there's this guy, Dusan Vlahovic, who's a great center back.
Just take an L and say, "I'll come back in 5 minutes."
I think Declared turned
I want to move on.
Paper
anyway, I thought I read somewhere wrong that he was a striker.
It's fine, mate.
But you know what? I probably didn't even focus. I was probably centre back, and I read centre forward, and I rolled myself like that.
I think you should just talk about Rudiger, Declared.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, I thought the guy won a competition. To be honest, so it goes to show how much I cared. So to sum that up, I don't even think that's true or happening, and it's weird as. But with the Rudiger, me and Redneck said at the same time last time too, that I agreed that he was done. I almost at this point don't even care because I think we can all agree, and every Chelsea fan agree, if someone doesn't want to be here, we don't want them. Simple as that, right? And
exactly.
And if and I'm not, and because of his age, what's great about Chelsea now is that we haven't even hit our peak with the age. Right, the group's age. So when Rudiger's past his best, that's when we're going to hit our peak. So I'm not overly concerned of that. I'm happy for him to do whatever he wants. If he doesn't want to stay, because we look like we're doing great things. We just won a Champions League. We look like we're in the title race now and competing for everything. He doesn't want to be a part of that, and if it's all about money for him, maybe it's not the best to keep him. Because if that's his only goal, right? Because I'm sure. If he wanted to stay and he wanted a bump up in his contract and he wanted to win titles and stuff like that. If it wasn't just money and other things were important, right? I think they would have found a solution by now. And that's how I look at it. And I'm like, all right, go. Oh, no, he's a great look. I agree for everyone that he's a great player, and we should. And it's gonna cost more to replace him. I agree with all that, but all the points that I made first is why I'm happy for him to go if he wants to go.
Yeah, and listen, the one thing I've said it, and I'll keep stressing, I don't want to see our club being held to ransom. So if an agent thinks that Rudiger can get a certain amount because of his form that he's currently in right now, and let's get it right, he's in his best form of his career, probably we could say right now, playing under Tuchel, coming at a very valid time for him because his contract's due. Let's be serious. So he's gonna look at the money. You know, at the same time, I do think Rudiger wants to play for Chelsea. I do. I think he does, but at the same time, I just feel if you're an agent and you see the form he's in, you're going to make sure he keeps his options open, especially if he thinks he can get a certain amount of wage that he thinks he deserves, elsewhere. If it's not Chelsea, PSG, Real Madrid, or whatever. So look, it could be to the case, guys, and this is why I always say it: be open-minded about this. It gets to January, we've still got the offer that we've given them on the table. They go out to Real Madrid and PSG. But then they don't give him still what he wants. And it gets to the point where it's now, well, do we move you from A to B just for that, Rudiger? And Rudiger goes, well, no, what's the point? Like, I might as well stay here and get a little bit less.
I think Real Madrid is not going to
another
give him
20 million. I don't know, or whatever, or, whatever it is. Not 20 million, 20,000 or 10,000, extra, on his wage packet. So I just think anything can happen. It could still go either way. Do you know what I mean? And this is the mad thing about it. I think, anyway.
I think after March, we will know. In March, we will know if he's leaving or staying. Like actual official thing. I think that's when we will know.
Got an unrelated. We're going to go to Nick next, but guys, an unrelated question. Does anyone of you know how Tino Andrew was rated by Chelsea or how good he was? He was good, a prospect, a player that was very good in reserves, done very well, got his opportunity for Chelsea and the game here and there, done okay.
Started well in Russia too.
Haven't seen much of him, is what I'm going to say. And I haven't watched him since he's left Chelsea as well and what he's doing and stuff, so I couldn't really answer too much about it. If Rudiger leaves, we want a player that has the same quality as him, but that's cool. And I agree with that to a degree. And that's why I think Jules Kounde is more important for me than De Ligt. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think De Ligt's a very good defender. I just don't know if having Thiago Silva, De Ligt, and Christensen is the right mix, because even though De Ligt can play off the left centre back, I think he's more of a central defender. I'd rather see him in the middle of that three. That's my opinion. I'd rather have a Jules Kounde, who I think is more versatile to play in these positions, than a De Ligt. But again, that's preference. I could just be. I could be completely wrong with that. But what are you saying, Nick Blue?
Yeah, big up, chaps. Yeah, about this centre back, what is it, Szalai? Szalai, how you say his name?
Szalai.
No, I haven't seen him really, but I don't believe
he's a good striker, Nick Blue. Trust me.
No, maybe it's a midfielder, I think. And I haven't seen him to judge him really, but I don't believe all this news. It's too much news for this player. So yeah, this news is suddenly come out. We're gonna buy him. I don't believe it. And yeah, about Rudiger, I think all of you are completely wrong. Saying he doesn't want to play for Chelsea, because he does, and he loves Chelsea. He wants to play for them. You can see what he means to the crowd right now, and I think it's to do with his agent, like you said, Jim. His agent's going to try and get as much as he can, but this thing ain't finished yet. It will go to January, and I think in the end, he's going to sign the contract if it's a good contract. They have to give him 200,000 is not a lot to ask for, and they're not even giving him that now.
Nick, can I ask you
it's a lot less. We could go and buy Kounde. It's going to cost a lot more.
It's going to cost us more of buying Kounde.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's going to cost a lot more. So why? I don't think Chelsea, the board, Marina, Czech, and all the rest of them are that dumb to let Rudiger go.
I
They
think
can't
there's
anymore.
another
Can
side to this.
can we ask you a
There's
question,
another.
Nick? Can I ask you a
Yeah.
question?
Go.
Oh, you threw me off. Now, Jim, I forgot what I was going to ask him.
I got a
Go
question.
ahead, Jim. I literally, you
Can I
threw
ask
me
him?
off and I forgot. Yeah, go ahead.
Let
Go
me
ahead.
quickly ask him. Hey, Nick,
Yeah.
since you said you know he wants to stay, do you know why he hasn't signed?
Yeah, exactly.
I think he hasn't signed because Chelsea haven't offered the 200,000. Maybe it's just under. We don't know.
Then,
Okay, so
then-
does it have
Yeah.
to be 200,000?
yeah, that's the
Maybe because he sees other players getting that, and he's the best player on
Well,
form
we
right
know
now.
that Chelsea
But you-
offered 175. We don't know how much Rudiger asked.
Yeah, we don't.
Blue, love is about sacrifice. You know this. You're a wise man. You know it's about sacrifice. Or does he just give in and sign? He loves the club so much. Just 170 is
Yeah,
not
but
that
he
far off
hasn't signed for
200.
that. All right.
Maybe throw a
ain't
little
gonna
bonus.
He ain't going to sign for 140 or 60. It's got to be.
175. Chelsea
Nick-
It's
offered
got to be. Yeah,
175.
but it's still not near the 200,000.
Now I remember what I was going to
Nick
ask.
Blue, now you're demonstrating, right, that the way you are going now, that he loves money more than the club.
No, we don't
Yeah.
know yet. No one's can say
No,
that.
but no. From what you're saying, right?
No,
the
it's not.
line of the line of
Let-
wording that you've went now.
We got. Yeah.
He loves them. He loves money over the club now.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, you said you loved the club first. Now you started talking about money, and now
Yeah, but the
it's
club-
all
the
about money.
club
So it's money first,
Well, declare.
and then club.
No, the club.
then maybe the
if
city.
they're willing to spend 200,000, more than 200,000, and we go on Kounde or the Ligt. Why not give it to Rudiger,
We
who's
Blue,
willing to
we all agree with what you're saying too, and I just said it just before you too. We
Yeah,
all agree
I'll
that
be
he's going to
really-
cost more than
if
to
they let-
replace, but
if
maybe
they
he
let
doesn't want to
Rudiger-
stay.
If they
You
let
got to accept.
Rudiger,
You got to accept.
Yeah.
You got to accept that maybe he doesn't want to stay.
If they don't give him the money, Rudiger leaves. Well, I
Nick,
still don't.
Nick.
I
I
still
don't.
think he
If
ain't
it's
gonna
about
leave.
money, then yeah.
Nick, I
Yeah.
don't think. This is where I think we need to be careful as fans. Yeah, I don't think Chelsea. I don't think the agent of Rudiger is asking for 200,000. I think he's
it's
asking.
more.
I think it's more. That's what I think it is. I think
Right, we
we're
don't
thinking
know,
that it's
but-
just. We're thinking it's just 200K.
Yeah.
Why can't we do
No,
that?
no.
We've got our wage
Here's
structure. Why
here's
are we
what
not
we
doing it?
know. Here's what we know.
Exactly.
Chelsea offered
We don't know that, yeah.
175. Chelsea offered 175, and somebody from Chelsea came out and said, "We are far apart." Did
Exactly.
somebody just post it?
Yeah, think about it. Yeah.
So if
yeah,
it's 175 and we are far apart, I don't think
not
it's
far.
200.
It's not 200 for me.
It's
I
probably
think
how
I'm
we
saying,
initially.
That's what I'm
Remember, we
taking out
initially
of that.
thought it was 250 redneck.
I think it's 220.
Yeah.
I think it's around 220.
Yeah.
230.
Ah,
That's what
Yeah,
I
but
think.
I'm with
still-
No,
Redneck.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
way more.
250.
I think it was
plus.
250. I think it's 250 what Rudiger asked.
Then
Yeah,
do you
that's
blame?
why-
Wait a second. Do you then blame the board for not wanting to meet his requirements? That's my
Yes,
problem.
I blame the
I
board.
don't-
If they don't, if
I
they let
don't.
him,
Hey, come on
if they
then.
let him go, I blame
No.
the board.
Nick,
I won't be-
I
now
don't
I
know.
remember what I was going to ask you. Now I remember what I was going to ask you.
Yes, that's it.
What, Nick? I was going to ask you one thing. You said that he plays out of his world this year. Like he's
Yeah.
such a good player. I agree with you, but let me ask you something. Since it's January and he's going to be talking to the other teams, do you think in his last contract of his life as a player and the last 6 months, how do you think he's supposed to play? Do you think his form is going to dip, or his form should be good because he's actually going to be like how you say it,
Yeah,
interviewing for the other clubs? Do you
yeah, I
understand?
know.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, he's going to play good, but even when he's 33, I think he might even get better. You can't say he's going to do. Chelsea can't look at it this way. They should give him
exactly. I think we can look at it, but Chelsea
Yeah, we look
cannot
at it
look him
different
at
ways, but
33.
Chelsea should look at the player what he's doing for the club right now. One of the best
Yeah.
defenders in the world right
I
now.
disagree. You
Wait.
have to look at the forward. I think you have to look at the forward as
All
a
right,
club,
yeah,
not
look
as
at
me.
Yeah,
forward,
but
but it's not like he's
you can't really
talking
foretell the
about.
future, though, right?
It's just turned
You can't-
29.
Sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
Nick. You can't really foretell the future, Redneck. Right now, on current form, he's playing at a world-class level. And if you look at
Yes.
the wage structure of the club, Lukaku's on, 325K? N'Golo Kante's on 290. Timo Werner's on about 270. I would say, given the wage structure we have right now, 250 is about where Rudiger sits. in the prime of his career. He's the most important defender on the club right now. So
Well, that was a
I
good- Yeah,
you know,
that
like
was good,
I think
Crouch. I think what we'll do actually.
You're right,
We'll
Crouch.
bring up.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
second, Nick.
Yeah.
We'll bring up the wage roll because
Yeah,
it's
can
worth
you
talking
can you
about.
Google
So,
and put on the screen Chelsea wage structure?
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, there we go.
So look, at the end of the day, forget the annual salary, right? I'm not even looking at that. Look at the weekly
Is that-
salary at the moment.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. Is
Free-
that
free-
include bonus or not? That's what the biggest thing is.
it's probably
So-
including bonuses.
yeah,
So,
so basically,
if it's
Romelu
including
Lukaku-
bonuses, that is nowhere near what that salary
Forget the
is.
bonuses. Forget the bonus because this is specifically what supposedly their weekly salary is, relevant to the bonuses or not. If he scores 20 goals at the end of the season, he gets a number,
Yeah.
whatever. But 325,000 a week is what Romelu Lukaku's on. All right, 290 is N'Golo Kante. Werner's on 272. Szalai is on £198,000 a week. Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, but
That's a little bit
we're not
annoying, yeah?
paying his way. We're paying 5 million fee. It's not ours.
Yeah,
Our
well,
fees is
that's
5
fair
mil.
enough. But Ben Chilwell's on 190, and then from Ben Chilwell, it drops to 155 Kepa, 150 Cesar, Kai's on 150, Mateo's on 150. Do you not think Mateo Kovacic and all these individuals that are playing so well are not thinking about being paid more money as well?
Exactly.
Then, like, this is my thing. They're all on less money. Do you know what I mean? They're still playing fine.
Couch brought a good point on the last stream me and you on. It's about, and I had that in my place where I work. That's why I was less play. That's why I actually quit. I've been at the the job for 7 years, and accidentally I found out that I actually make less money than the guy that has the same degree, and he just started it. He was making more than me just as a new employee than I was actually when I was working at the 7 years at that place. That's why I quit, because it's like it's not about us. It's like it's how it is. I think you're the one that brought it up, Couch, last time on somebody's stream.
Yeah.
That new employees get more when they get hired, because versus the people that been over there for a while. I don't know if it's like this in England, but it's definitely in the United States.
Rudiger's at the moment on 5.2 million a year, which is paying him 100,000 a week. Granted, that is too low when you look at Marcus Alonso's on the same money as him, and all right, Thiago Silva, and whatever. But he, where did it go? Why did he do that? Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Another massive factor is positions. Usually defenders and keepers, and they get the lower wages compared to other positions. So when you're comparing that whole table,
Link is in the chat, Daniel.
Who's in the chat?
Daniel asking for a link. I
Link
said,
G,
link is in the
Link
chat.
G. All right, G.
G.
Here's the link, bro.
Now
you
we
go,
know your
Dan.
face, Daniel. We
Link
can-
is right there, my brother. Link is right
Hey,
there.
Redneck, are you
look,
seeing what Brian's saying in the chat?
No.
saying the Blues will pay the entirety of Sal's wages during his time in London, while they have also paid Atleti a €5 million fee to take him on loan.
I don't believe that. That's a 5 million fee. If it's salary, if his salary included in that 5 million, it could be, but that's not how it works.
I mean,
Well, it can
Rams.
work that way. That's not written in stone. Sometimes you have to pay the fee.
Yeah, it's a
and then take
contract.
your
It's a
wages.
contract. If he negotiated a different kind of contract, I can understand that. But usually, you pay a fee for the loan.
I know why
That's
Rams
why-
come in for.
That's why when you
Rams
get
come in.
injured, that's why you get injured on loan. You're going back to your club, not staying over there.
Hey, Brian, if you can, just tell us who reported that.
Yeah.
Ram,
I mean,
you're obviously
I'm
here
not
to-
disagreeing with Brian. I'm just saying it could be how we negotiate.
Ram, you're obviously here to probably have a little troll because you've seen the wages and you've seen
Well.
Sal Niguez. So what is it you want to say, mate?
Do I deserve an apology? Can I have my
For what?
apology, please?
For what?
Because you lot ridiculed me about Saul. I told you a lot about him. I told
What
you
you
that
told
he's
us?
not the guy anymore. I want my apology.
I don't think you
Wait,
listen.
when you're happy, you guys
What
going
is
to
it?
get him?
No, I was not. Actually, I was one of the few
Ram,
people that didn't want.
Ram,
Honest,
can you
honest
name
to
me?
God, I was one of the few people that didn't want him.
Ram, can you name me, right, the options that Chelsea had that would have been the best fourth midfielder option out there?
No, but that's for you lot is good because he's a fourth midfielder. But I got ridiculed for saying that Liverpool shouldn't get him. and I want my apology. I want my apology, Jam.
Go
What
on
for?
for apology at
Because
Liverpool.
you told your Liverpool fans not that you didn't want him.
Yeah.
You're at the wrong
No,
place to get that
it's not.
apology.
It's not. It's not. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that.
Oh.
It was. Jem was one of the people. Terry was one of the people.
Hang on.
Ben was one of the
What do you mean I
people.
was one of the people? What did I
Yes, you
say?
were one of the people.
What did I say? Go on.
You said that I was deluded and saying that I don't rate
You
Sal.
are. That's a different story. You are.
I've never
deluded.
rated. I've never not rated. I've never said I've rated Sal ever.
Hey,
I never
You,
rated
you've
him.
always been.
I want my apology now.
Hey,
Yeah,
Rams,
get an apology from me.
listen,
I've never said anything.
isn't that a little premature? Anyway, if everything you said is true and that apology, and people do owe you apology, a little premature. Then you want to wait into the season and see. You might pop off,
No,
and then
no,
you have to return the apology if people apologize now to you.
no, but
So I
declared,
think you're being a little too greedy going for it now, mate. You're
I-
gambling a little with it. I think.
Twitter services
I've
so
been
you
hearing-
need a validation for a guest round.
I'm not. I'm hearing reports that he might go back to Atleti, and I said
Nah.
this before. People have had the wrong impression of Saul. Like people were thinking of
I
Marcos
never said he was
Llorente.
good.
Come on,
You're-
Brian. You can.
Marcos
Hey.
Llorente was the baller that everyone was thinking of, not Saul. And I kept on saying,
Rams,
I
My
was-
guy, my guy,
hey, Rams,
my
you
guy.
better hope he doesn't start performing, Rams. I'm gonna ask for you. I'm gonna ask that apology in return, and I don't even say nothing to you.
nah, man, no.
You're making this.
Oh, bro, I can't wait. Bro, I'm gonna cheer him every game. If he starts scoring crackers out the box, I'm gonna go, Rams, where are you, Rams?
Nah,
You know what's funny?
declared.
You know what's funny?
I should tell you-
Rams. Nobody thought that he was going to come in here and displace any of our midfielders. He was basically cover signing, right? The surprise for me is that Ruben Loftus-Cheek has come in and taken his spot as well.
Thank you.
That was a
Ruben,
surprise for me.
Ruben double butt cheeks, yeah. Ruben double butt cheeks has started to perform, yeah.
Absolutely, but nobody expected that based on
Even
the fact that
Barkley,
his injury
even
record.
Barkley
And just
benched
Barkley
him.
to an extent as well. Like,
Yeah.
there's something wrong with it. I think there's something wrong with his mindset. I think he's done. He's done as a
Keep in
player.
mind, these are all people that, like, Ruben was supposed to go on loan, Barkley was supposed to go on loan. So
And these men are,
keep
but
that
these
in
men
mind
are
as well.
pushing down the pecking order. Like, I want my apology, Jem.
For what, man? What do you want an apology for?
You lot ridiculed me.
It's like
You
me just
ridiculed
saying,
me.
oh, I'm right all the time. I want my apology. I told you. It's not me coming on here telling everyone. I told you. I want my apology. Tell me. Come on.
Hey, Rams, did the Liverpool fan base give you an apology? Because my memory of the transfer season was that Liverpool fans were so upset that you guys didn't get him, right? Not yourself, but the rest of the fan base, and the shit they said, it was horrendous, right? Why didn't we get him? And they went against the board, everything. We bought Saul last second, so you can tell that it was a
You
last-minute buy
lot
for us
didn't rate him.
and a
And
backup.
that's
But you guys didn't say he was a backup for you guys. You guys said he was going to start and it was going to be great,
Exactly.
and you went after the board, right? So if there's an apology to be looked for, right? You're looking at the wrong place.
I mean, I've sent out DMs to people. I put a personal DM. People saying I want my apology.
I'll help
You
you,
just,
Rams.
wait, you
I
just
just-
Give me
wasted
help. I'll help you
15
out.
minutes.
We're going to
You
look
just
for these
wasted
apologies.
15 minutes of Gem stream for your agenda.
No,
Didn't even.
Redneck. He was one of the people that started the train. I want my apology, Jem.
What for?
No one's giving Rams apologies. He's been looking for it
I've never
everywhere.
even
He's on a
spoke about
journey.
Sal
Yeah, you fit in there,
Niguez. When have I ever said, oh, Sal Niguez is a great player? He's this, he's that. When have I ever said that?
You, Terry, Jess, and Tom all came at me for my.
Oh, no, Tom did
because
for sure. No,
wait a
Tom
second.
did,
Oh,
yeah.
because I was in the stream with you, I get blamed for it because Terry and Jess were moaning about.
No. Jem, you seen the DMs. I said to all of them, I want my apology. I want it now. I want it on.
Apology. What are you getting an apology for?
Ram, have you got an
I
apology
wanted an
from Tom
apology
yet?
from you for saying that Steven Gerrard was going to stay at Rangers, and now look, what about that?
Yeah,
He's
but
a-
that's. Oh, you know me. I'm a story merchant. You know that. You know I'm a story merchant. So that's.
No, you're
Just
not
story
even
merchant.
story merchant. I don't have a words for you what merchant you are. I literally, my English vocabulary limited. You the border of my knowledge of English. If I have, I will eventually expand my English language and I will start coming after you with your apology.
It's easy, Redneck. He's an apology collecting merchant. You already know. He's looking for the apology. No one's giving to him. He's in every corner, every stream asking for apologies.
Alright, I'm
No,
a
wait,
merchant.
wait,
Maybe you should start a therapy. Maybe you have some kind of issues.
Nah, the
Fair.
bailiff.
You
guys,
friends,
Graham, have
you
you
never
collected one at
apologize to you or
least?
something.
the bailiffs
at least
have
picked
come
one?
to town. The bailiffs have come to town. They got the receipts. They want their money back, and I want my apology.
Rams,
So-
why are you talking about Saul? So you don't talk about West Ham. I can see what you're doing. What
I mean,
do you think of
I
West
mean,
Ham?
everyone knew my opinions on West Ham. I said we were shit.
Yeah.
I said our defense was shit.
Who's
Like
shit?
Liverpool was shit that day. The only player that played
Yeah,
well,
West Ham were
in my
good that
opinion,
day,
was
yeah.
probably Origi.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's it.
Rams, while you're here, what was your thoughts on? I don't want to talk about Liverpool. Shit, Liverpool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to talk
crap
about
Liverpool.
this. What are your thoughts when you saw this?
First thought I said was I thought you were talking about the striker Szalai.
Yeah,
The-
Szalai, yeah.
how-
That's what
my
what's his name declared thought as well when he was saying
Yeah.
he's this, he's that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And one thing I am as well. I'm a Bundesliga merchant as well, so I know he plays Bundesliga football. So
mate, you can
Yeah.
open
A
a
lot-
market. That's how many merchants you are, mate.
Leipzig, did he play for Leipzig?
Szalai.
Szalai played for who did he play
Yeah.
for? Yeah.
No, he didn't. No, you're thinking of Orban, bro. Orban played for Leipzig, not. But I
All
don't.
white people look alike.
I don't really know who this guy is. I know he's played for a couple of Turkish teams, but I don't know why you signed him for that amount of money. Like, he's not really proven. I think you're trying to replace Rudiger, and that's not a very good replacement.
We haven't
I
signed
agree.
him. That's the
I
problem.
agree with Ram.
We haven't signed it. That's the problem. It's nonsense. That's the problem. It's fake news. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm sorry. There's no way in hell we've signed.
I've just seen it on my timeline, bro. I've just seen it on my timeline. I'll just give him my opinions. If you did sign him, it will be a waste of money. You could have got someone a lot better for that money. A lot more proven as well.
Okay. Give me a couple of names for that money. Better players.
You could have got Esri Konsa. You could have kept Zuma. You know, like you could have kept a lot of players. You could have got a lot of decent players.
Could have kept Tamori.
Yeah, could have kept Tamori. Sold him for how much? 16 mil.
Yeah, it was 16.
Kept
Yeah.
Salah as well.
16 mil, man.
More than
Like,
that.
come on.
Bro, Ram's spitting facts though, man. Like this, if this is true, this is a horrible signing. Just saying, awful.
Did you see
He ain't
him
an
play
awful
out?
player. Let's take that back.
Yeah,
news of
yeah,
him.
but
Player.
we're
I
not
actually
saying.
watched him play.
But the thing is, we're not saying. Yeah, but the thing is, no one's saying.
one game, but
The
I
thing is-
watched him.
It's not an awful player. It's just when you look at the likes of Rudiger, and then you obviously got rid of Zuma as well. You see the class of these players compared to this guy. It's a bit of it's a massive downgrade. Massive downgrade. And
Hold on a second. When we bought the Rudiger from Roma, did you think of Rudiger in Roma that he will be what he is?
Rudiger was a highly rated centre back, bro.
Everyone knows. Jem even knows. I've said since day one that Rudiger's a baller. I always said, even when he was in bad form, I said he was a baller, and I knew he could reach these heights under a good manager. I said it.
Wait, day one at Chelsea or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, day one since like early years of his career.
I played before Roma.
I knew he was decent.
Rudiger at Roma was a very highly rated centre back.
No. I'm asking ads. Where did Rudiger play before Roma? Since you watched him way before Roma.
No, I'm saying at his days at Roma before he went to Chelsea.
He
Oh,
played for
That's what I'm saying.
he played for Stuttgart, no?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, it's mine.
I don't know. I don't watch
Good shout. Good
Bundesliga.
shout.
What I'm saying is, it's a major loss. You're losing Rudiger though.
I know it's a major loss. Don't get me
Reckon
wrong.
Liverpool wanna buy
Everybody
him?
knows that.
Nah, I'm all right, mate.
Guess what? We are Chelsea
Ah,
Football
you- well,
Club,
you were-
and we still move. You know, we will still continue to challenge.
said
We'll
no
still
thanks.
continue to do things without him. Yeah, I'm not sort of bent over when it comes to losing Rudiger. I ain't. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, we
He
lost
should be good,
Lampard.
but
We lost Drogba.
We've lost so
We're gonna
many
be okay.
top class players. We lost Eden Hazard, man, who was
We
our
lost,
most influential
lost
player.
John Terry.
I think it's a
Lost-
bad move for Rudiger, to be honest. I think
I
Rudiger,
think so, actually. I think Rudiger is making a
think-
bad mistake also.
Yeah,
Rudiger, the system that he plays does cater a lot to him.
System.
In terms of what? A bad move for what?
Because
Back
I
three.
think
System-wise.
in this
Yeah.
moment
Oh,
he's
footballing wise.
he's playing in a very good system that I've always said Rudiger's a very emotional defender. He's a bit like Carragher. Would just get the emotion will take hold of him and he'll make some rash mistakes. And I feel like in this system and the way Thomas Tuchel has been playing him, I think is a very bad move for him. I think he should have signed that contract extension.
Yeah, but you don't just sign something just because it suits your football. You sign something that makes sense for you as a footballer.
Yeah, but
right?
Couch, can I also say something as well? If we go and win the Premier League, right, under Tuchel this season, and we've just won the Champions League, why the F, in your mind, would you want to leave a club that is progressively winning things continuously in a system and then have a manager
I got a question.
Because they're undervalued. Because it's the same reason why Wijnaldum left, right?
That's true.
Like they're
I
undervaluing.
got a question for a panel.
True.
I got a tricky one.
I just find it a bit weird, especially if you are getting, not say close to what you want, or you're happy where you are. You know you can live on that money, but you know you can get more if you look elsewhere. But I just think if you're comfortable where you are and Chelsea are giving you something of whereabouts you want to be, of actually negotiate a bit, then play for it, man. Play for it.
But where better can you go than Chelsea?
Exactly.
You
don't want to go Liverpool. We're going to go down there.
There's
no. Let me. Well, if the money talks.
We don't
know for sure. I still think in the end.
If we win the
I
Premier
still
League.
think it was fine in the end. Myself.
You're not talking about.
Let me ask. I wouldn't say it's impossible.
Let me ask you a question. That is a tricky one. What if he goes to Tottenham?
No,
I think
no chance. Chelsea would never send him to Tottenham.
No, Chelsea's not selling. He's on free. He can go to Roman Abramovich's wife as a second husband. I don't know.
Redneck, that won't happen.
You really think that Rudiger is going to leave
He was
Chelsea
supposed
for
to
Tottenham?
do it last season. He was supposed to.
It's
not a mad shout, you know. It's not.
You also forget one big thing though with that. You also forget one big thing.
Be there last season.
No. You also redneck. You also forget one big thing with that.
Out of spite,
Rudiger is racially assaulted by Spurs, so he's not going there.
That was true. That was true.
Which was never proven.
Well, he hurt.
Well, that's his thoughts. It doesn't matter either way. Whether it's proven or that's how he thinks.
Rudiger hates Tottenham. No chance he's going with Tottenham. No way.
Well, I'm saying that is, but what if? Do Chelsea fans start to look at him differently?
What about Arsenal?
No.
Did we look at Mourinho differently when he was managing Spurs? Did we get a look different? I mean,
still like
did we look different at Peter Cech when he went to Arsenal at the later stages of his career?
Of course not.
Yes, he did.
No.
Would you
looking at Peter Cech differently?
No.
You looking at?
I said Petr Cech should have been staying at Chelsea. Should have been a Chelsea club.
No.
He should have retired at Chelsea.
You muffling a little bit.
Yeah, he would have, but they wanted Courtois to come in. He was young.
Courtois is dead. Courtois is dead.
Look,
Nothing compared to that.
Cech's always beat Chelsea.
I don't even like Courtois, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie.
He personally asked Abramovich if he can go to Arsenal. He personally, because his kids are in a specific school, he wanted to keep the kids in school. And if Cech asked, what he did to Chelsea, I respect him. He asked for permission before he did it. He didn't want to upset anybody.
That's right.
He did what he did.
Yeah,
I think it's fine by me.
Would you be surprised if...
answer? JJ Bridge with a donation. Big up to you, my man. He says, it will be sad, but once he leaves the Prem, I'm okay. I think he's talking about Rudiger. Thank you for the donation, my guy.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah,
as long as he doesn't stay in the Premiership. If he goes, I hope he goes to Real Madrid or Juventus, anywhere.
Real Madrid cannot afford him now. We already have a high wage.
I don't care who can afford him. I hope he doesn't go anyway. But if he does go, I hope he goes to a foreign
The only
club.
person who can afford him is PSG.
And this is what I'm saying, Redneck. This is exactly where I'm going with this. You're talking about, like, he thinks the world is his oyster right now, that he can just go anywhere and he's going to get 400K. The way that the market is shaping up right now, there's not going to be those kind of salaries available.
Exactly.
Barcelona's out. Barcelona's out. You know,
Barcelona's out
100%.
Real Madrid. I don't unless they move somebody. I don't see where they're going to be able to.
Exactly.
They're trying to move Hazard.
Defenders.
But like,
do you think?
You know,
they
got a lot of defenders. Sorry.
Do you think he believes in his own hype?
I think he believes in his own hype.
Right,
why wouldn't he? He's playing incredibly. He's playing incredibly well. I just don't know if the finances are going to be there for him the way he.
I don't know if his body will do it for 5 years. I don't know.
I think he's a fit guy, and like most athletes right now are extending their careers a lot. Like just just based on the fact that how they treat
Yeah, but
themselves.
those
now.
are the players that actually legacy wonder player, like Thiago Silva. He looks for the legacy. I don't know if the Rudiger is a legacy guy. I don't think
How
this
do you
is
mean
what
legacy?
he
What do you mean
wants.
by that? What do you mean
What
by
I
that?
mean is like, I want to be remembered for years as a, like when somebody opens the CB center back conversation, I want to be in that hype.
I
don't
think
think
I think
Rudiger is that person. I don't
I
think
think
he's
I
him.
think on that redneck, I think it's very difficult to be in that conversation when especially with your national team, when there's been so many great defenders.
Don't tell me about
Germany.
Lucio again, okay? Stop with this.
No, I'm not
Ridiculous,
talking about.
bro.
I'm talking about the German centre backs. Like you
German
got
center backs.
Oh.
He's talking about
Hummels,
German center backs.
Boateng. I think
I
Rudiger's
thought
like.
you were gonna try and
yeah,
go at Silva again or something like
I
that.
think the Rudiger
Lucio.
is exactly what German national team is. They dropped form, and I don't think like you exposing us of that. Like for example, do you think it's my personal view? You defend good is good as your offense is defense. So if your system broke, if your system is broke, you will get more challenges. It will
Yep.
expose your weaknesses on the
Yep.
like all the more often. So for me,
100%.
we can agree that our defense is good, but how good is a defense if we would not have the good of the midfield? We play conservative. We're really playing conservative. We play in double six for one reason, because our coach thinks if we will not play double six, we will open the gate and start conceding more. Tuchel said
Well,
that.
we also play double eight sometimes, and to be honest with you, I think it has more to do with the fact that
Jorginho's
he
fault.
likes to
That's
have possession. He likes to have possession. So he likes the possession game, and his way of defending is more keep possession for 75% of the game.
the last time they have on the ball, the last chances we can see. I agree with you. I agree
Sounds
with
as
you.
though it sounds as though he should be at PSG from the sounds of what you're saying.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's
Yeah.
no competition for him in terms of versus different teams. PSG in the league of their own,
And obviously there have been reports that Ramos is not. It doesn't look like he's going to be registered with the team.
What if Ramos comes to Chelsea for just on the wages for free?
Ramos
Like
and
Thiago
Thiago Silva at the back. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that?
Yeah, I
Why
can
not?
imagine a bunch of red cards for Ramos. Honest to God,
Well, he'd still be. Chelsea would have two of the best.
Are you
defenders
still
in the
crying
league,
about the
and
Salas
Ramos,
challenge?
Nah.
Is that what you're still crying about?
I've never rated Ramos. I think I've always maintained Puyol is
You can't
miles
say
ahead
that.
of
He
Ramos.
carried Varane, Rams. He carried Varane. Remember?
Shut up. Puyol. Do you know who Puyol carried?
Ramsey's worried that Ramos is going to come back and finish a job on Szalai. That's what he's worried about.
Puyol carried
He's
PK, bro.
going to pull his other arm, mate. He's going to pull out his other shoulder.
Nah,
PK was
That's
still
the
good
career
with that.
gone. I mean, the season gone.
Stop it. Puyol carried PK.
PK was still
Puyol
good
carried
without
PK.
Puyol. What are you talking about? That's nonsense.
Wait, Puyol's a
They
baller.
all retired
Puyol's a baller.
ages, and they kept doing
Yeah,
all right.
and PK was still playing, and they were still winning
Yeah.
things. That don't mean anything. So, Sergio Ramos carried Varane. That's a fact.
And so did Puyol. Puyol carried PK.
Puyol carried PK. It's
He
like
did.
well, it is what it is. But like you're saying, Joe, Ramos, I don't get the move. I don't even know why PSG are losing money for nothing. Pretty much with him, it doesn't make any sense. But in terms of Rudiger, it looks like he's potentially going to be leaving Chelsea at this moment in time. But things can change by January. Like I said, he might not get the offer he wants, and not say maybe false, but maybe he decides to switch his mind and stay where he is. So I'm still open with it.
Who's your highest earner?
Romelu Lukaku.
How much is he on?
320.
Okay. How much is Rudiger on?
100.
Just 100k.
Yeah, at the moment.
All right. Okay. And he wants
Chelsea.
400. He says.
Well, no, he
No.
wants 400. He wants. We were told he wanted 200, but I think it's more than that. I think Chelsea. I reckon he wants about. Some people are saying 220. Some are saying 250. Is what he's asking for now. Chelsea are.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ Almighty.
Exactly. Now you wonder why Chelsea are very like, we'll give you this, but it is what it is.
That's more than Van Dijk's earning, bro. Jesus fuck me. What?
That's why I keep saying I do not. If he goes, I will not blame the board. Like providing that there's actually an understanding to it. Like
You can get people. You can get better. You can
'Cause
get
I know what our fan base will do on Twitter. They'll be like, they're spoiled, they're crap. They let Rudiger go. Bah, 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 and start crying about it. But when you actually probably hear the story, it'll be something stupid like Chelsea offered him 190 or something, or nearly close to 200, but he decided he wanted nearly 250, and Chelsea said no. Do you know what I mean? And that makes sense. But then some people say, well, no, we should still pay it because he's world class. He is in this system. I keep saying it. In this system, he is world class. In this system, is he world class out of the system? That's why I agree with you. If he goes to PSG, Real Madrid, he will get a bigger wage roll. But are they going to see the
Now I
same
kind of want
performances?
Ramos at
Are they
Chelsea.
going to see the same
Hold on.
performances from him?
So, Gems, you don't think that he's worth 250 right now?
In this,
Given the structure of the club right now?
Yeah, but
No.
this is the thing, right? What if Tuchel goes next season and we're stuck with him on 250 and we go back to a back four and we're shocking and we have to go and look for more players to come back in that can play in a 4 system?
Yeah, but like you don't sign the contract with the notion that the manager is going to be gone 6 months from now, right?
But
Chelsea we do.
At
Chelsea we do.
It does. With Chelsea, you don't know, do you?
So then why? So then we've never done that before. We always sign players for the manager.
No, we not. We
Hold
don't.
on a second. Let's look at the history.
Lampard is the only one.
Kounde, they signed players for him to fit his style. Of course they did. How did we get Alonso? How did we
they
get
put Victor Moses as a right wing back. He wasn't signed for Kounde.
You don't think Bakayoko was his signing? Of course it was.
It was molded into that position for me.
I think Bakayoko was a bit.
Bakayoko was signed because he was good in Monaco. That was everybody.
And who signed Jorginho? Who signed Jorginho? Who signed Kovacic?
Yeah, I get that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
One
we do sign players
That's
for
one
the
player.
manager.
That's one player. Though,
Kovacic?
I think Kovacic was signed.
Signed as a club. We just signed him as a club because he was he wasn't happy at Real Madrid. That's the only reason we signed him.
We didn't buy him for his ball retention in Sarri's system, really.
No.
Come on, guys.
He wasn't that good.
I think Havertz is a good example of a club signing.
Couch. Deep it.
Havertz is definitely a club signing. I agree with that.
One second. Deep it like this, right? We go and give Antonio Rudiger 250k, right, a week, who is a defender, but we can't give Erling Haaland 350k a week, who's a striker.
Because
think about
350 plus the agent fees plus the transfer fee.
But we don't know. Yeah, fine. But ignoring that, I'm talking about the wage.
No, you can't ignore that, Jim. Come on, Star. You can't ignore that.
Because
but you think
Rudiger could get bonuses in his contract that he signs for 250.
Haaland will end up with 500,000.
It's the same thing.
Not 250 or 350.
I'm just saying. Chelsea can't just go, okay, yeah, there you go, have it. You want that? We give it to you.
No, but it's like if you weigh it against the value that he has in the club right now.
Why are you comparing forwards versus defenders' salary? It's two different things.
What about David Luiz, bro?
There's a meaning behind that. That's what I'm saying to you. Go on.
I always thought David Luiz wasn't a Conte signing. I thought it was a club signing.
No,
there was something
why would they bring him back? Why would they brought him? He needed a libero in his system. We didn't have one at the club.
Center back. He does need a
he needed a center back who can quarterback from there.
Couch. That deal was bare dodgy. It was very, very dodgy, that deal.
Yeah.
Him going to PSV, then coming back.
Yeah, because the manager needed
money laundering.
No, but Couch, you think about it, they paid £50 million for a guy that conceded 7 against Germany, and
he
then
didn't concede on his own. First of all,
he was a big part of it. He was a big part of it.
Come on, now. I don't care. Regardless.
There was a reason why Khedira was like going down that right hand side.
He was a big part in that loss.
Him and Marshmallow was skinned.
Like, what's his name?
I ain't defended Luis, man, after a 7-1 shellacking, but come on, man. It's more than just him. All right?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. The Brazil defense missed Thiago Silva. They missed him.
Oh, yeah.
Facts.
Oh, yeah.
They said best defender in Brazil history. Of course,
David Luiz.
You know what I mean?
David Luiz's legs as wide as Thibaut Courtois' legs at that tournament. Specifically, like he got nutmegged so many times over there.
Yeah. Tell me about it. It's a nightmare. But listen, guys, thank you for tuning in. Another great show. I am trying to
We're done
be
already.
consistent.
We haven't even really gotten into it, man.
It's 2 hours in. We're nearly 2 hours in. It's been a good show. I'm not going to lie. But listen, guys, continue to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be on Couch's channel later tonight at 7:30 UK time. There's still over 90 of you here. Go and search up Couch Critic. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to put it in the chat right now.
You've been mourning by yourself on the stream for an hour before we came in.
I know, but that's how I do it, you know. That's I like talking to myself, redneck. That's what it is. It's fun.
I know you got married. I understand.
Sometimes it's you know.
Yo, Jeb, you got caught cold, bro. You just said
cold.
Yeah.
I got cool. She's next door as well. I have to be quiet. Shit, she's doing me. But you know, it is what it is. Couch, I can't find your.
By the way, my apologies about that lady stream, though.
That's all right. That was funny, you know. They messaged me after actually.
What the mushroom hairstyle?
No, he said he said you know Sophia that comes on this scene. He said, "Is Sophia your wife?"
Well, you've been asking the questions like you the only one, and I was like, I thought it was for real, man. I didn't. I never seen her before.
Redneck is not his wife. He's his mistress.
Oh, you know, stop it. I'm ending it now. I'm ending this stream.
No. But listen, but Redneck, think about it. Imagine it was like a plot twist where Sophia is actually Jem's wife. That would be a very good story. See, story merchant.
Guys, stop making weird stories up. There's viewers on.
I know, Ram with the story merchant, man.
there is the link to Couch Critics YouTube channel. Go and follow him over there. We'll be over there at 7:30. I don't know if we're opening the lines or not. You have to ask him a bit later on. But yes, come and tune in with us over there, guys. As usual,
really good streams. I usually run when I'm listening to your streams.
Yeah, Redneck. I mean, we usually do a tactical analysis and delve into things. It's a little bit different to what we do here or what everyone else does, to be honest. I quite enjoy it.
I'm working on myself on the same thing.
It's better than having you fiery heads, you know, screaming and shouting at each other on my channel. I'm joking.
Excuse me. I don't scream. I don't scream. I'm very level-headed.
Oh, I found out why I scream. Turns out I'm deaf on the left ear. I'm gonna have a surgery.
Oh,
I have like 90% of the hearing loss on my left ear. That's why I didn't know that.
Redneck, I think why are they there? Get them to check part of your brain as well, because some of the things that you say might be related to that.
Give me the doctor that you use, and I'll go to him.
Good one.
Listen, guys, thank you for tuning in.
Did you change your name though? Hold on. Why are you Readneck now?
He's Readneck now. He's not Redneck. He's Readneck.
I'm a Readneck.
You reading books now? You started reading now?
Good
I read my ABDs.
Listen, guys, smash the like button. If you're still new here, subscribe to the channel. We've had over 90 to 100 of you here all the way through on this one. I will be back, but I don't actually know what I'll be back with. I just think of it and do it as
Jim, can I have a quick request? A quick request.
Yeah. We're going to do another debate show.
No, not a debate. Can you tell your boy Monster, your best friend Monster, to stop coming at my ass, please? I find it very, very, very weird.
Why is Monster coming
up your ass? What's happened?
I don't know, man. Like he's always trying to find me and trying to start little arguments here and there. I don't know, man. He just is that. I was minding my own business in a Twitter space, and Monster's calling me out all of a sudden. I don't know why, man. Just have a word.
That's what Monster does, man. You know, Monster always comes for the rivals. You know, pray for them rivals, as he always likes to say. You know, but it is what it is. Big up to him. And guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. We'll be back whenever we'll be back. Probably not tomorrow because I'm busy tomorrow, but over the weekend, maybe. Actually, Friday night, I might do one. And the missus is going out. I'll be.
Oh yeah, and I want my apology.
I knew he was going to.
Do you know what, Ram? Is your apology, mate? Peace. See you later.